Yeah.
that he's kind of big right now?
I think a Joe, Joe's biggest thing is just being consistent with the details. I think that he's a guy that's always been able to get away with his talent. Being a very very talented guy, but it's very very detailed. And then you got to be able to play multiple positions. And I think when you look at Bo. Bo came in, ahead of a Joe, and we knew that. We knew a Joe was going to be a developmental guy, and if you wish you had the other guys to be able to kind of take the necessary time for his development, but we had to accelerate it a little bit, and now just backing it off just a little bit to kind of get him comfortable with where we pushed him to, and once he's there, then we can push him a little bit more.
I thought he was a tight end coach.
Yep.
Take a look at Davis, Sage, and Briggs. Take a look at those three guys, but then basically those are obviously the majority of guys. How pleasing is it to you as a tight end coach to see that?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is Davis. We knew what we had in Davis, and just what I'm excited about with Davis is he's coming out of his shell a little bit as a leader. He's becoming more vocal, and I think because of that, he's becoming more consistent on the field as well. Because it's all tied together. When you have that confidence to stand in front of your teammates and challenge them, then that gives you the motivation to go on the field and make sure that you can demand that level of excellence because you're giving it. And then Sage, Sage is a guy that's been a pleasant surprise because you didn't know kind of what he could do based off of last year, but he's physical at the point of attack. He can really run. He's developing from a receiver standpoint. And then Brenning still has it all. He just needs experience. So there's going to be some good coaching in the meeting room today because there were a couple things in the game. We made some plays, and I thought we did a good job in the run game. But there's some things that we got to clean up. So, and the great thing about all three of those guys, and even Luke and Jay Lay, man, they're very very humble. They want to get better. They're workers, man. They come to practice and they know how to practice. They know that you got to go game speed in practice to be able to play, fast on Saturdays. So, man, it's a fun group, and they all embrace the competition too. They all want to go every single rep because they know that in a healthy way, if they don't go, then their brother's going to get that rep, and that's an opportunity for separation.
I thought that for Shipley and for Kobe, their best game, rushing yards aside,
Yo.
didn't seem to be much hesitation, not a lot of thinking, just kind of reacting. Kobe set up blocks really
Yep.
well. Best effort, and do you see it starting to come together for those two?
Oh yeah, it was good to be able to get those guys a week where they can kind of heal up and be fresh. But I thought they didn't miss a beat. That's one thing for Shipley. Shipley is a north-south guy, but I thought he did a really good job on his decision making and his cuts going east and west. He found the cuts, and Kobe as well. The one that I liked the most was going towards the west end zone where he split the tackle on the guard. Right, they were in a bare front. He split the tackle on the guard. Now he should have kept running. If he would have kept running, he probably would have had 200 yards rushing. But he said he saw the corner and he stopped. But that just shows me that he's trusting it because there was a little bit of trash right there, and he ran through the trash. So pleased with both of them. I thought they were solid in pass protection. There was one that Wake disguised really good that you wouldn't expect a freshman to pick up, and he didn't get home. But that'll be something for us to coach Shipley on. So pleased with where those guys are, and Shipley, in particular, he's really starting to become more vocal, as a leader, and that's something that we've challenged him, and he's embracing it, and it's helping us.
I saw him barking out on the field.
Yeah.
A couple of times.
Oh man, he's a competitor now. He's a competitor. He loves to compete. He loves to compete.
There was one down there when it looked like maybe the play didn't come in when he thought it should come in. But the older guys, are they okay with that as long
Yeah.
as it's genuine?
Oh yeah. And when you look at what Shipley does day in and day out, how he performs academically, his character, and they know that if they go to challenge him, he's going to challenge them right back, and they better be ready because he can accept the challenge, and he can also bring the challenge to you. So yeah, they respect the heck out of Shipley.
You mentioned cutbacks.
Yep.
Is his feel for that extraordinary?
It's getting better. It's really good. It took Travis, It took Travis a little while to figure that out, but he's taken to it. And again, the difference is, he's a student of the game. He'll text me at night, just randomly text me, hey coach, on this particular play, the left tackle was supposed to do this, correct. And so he'll be texting me, at night asking questions, and I'm sure he's doing the same thing with CJ at night. So he puts the effort in, which I think allows him to be able to kind of accelerate that growth process, because you saw before early in the season, he wasn't making those cuts, and then now he's seeing it. He's going 1 or 2 on the outside zone, because the outside zone's it's a double read. You got 2 reads on that before you make your cut, and then you got 5 steps to make your. You got 3 steps to make your read, 5 steps to make your cut. So that's different terminology and language than in high school, like where they hand you the ball and say, hey, run right there, and just run fast. Man, he's a athletic, great energy. Plays hard. He does a lot. He can beat you with speed, and he can turn it into power when he needs to. He looks like he's the energy leader, on that defense. So we're excited about the challenge, and it looks like they play him mostly to the boundary. So both tackles will have to go to work on him. He's a guy that we got to be aware of where he is and how he's playing. The whole game.
You mentioned Travis. Have you heard from him about that Bayou yet?
Yeah, we text. Matter of fact, you don't get much out of Travis. I love Travis to death, and we have an unbelievable relationship. But Travis texts me when he wants to text me. And I don't mind that. But I just randomly got a text before the game, and he said, "Man, tell all the guys that there's nothing like running down the hill on Saturdays." And I thought that was pretty cool. So I shared it with the group before the game, before we went out, and then after the game, I texted him and I said, "Man, we finally got to fire your play." And he said, "Yeah, I was wishing y'all." He said, "I wish y'all would have let me do it, but hey, coach, it's 1 for 1." So he was good with it. He was good.
Y'all teach Shipley to do the basketball talk?
Yeah, that's kind of how Coach Sweeney likes to end the game out there in noon basketball time, noon hoops out there. That's kind of his patent little runner. So I let Coach kind of focus on that, and I was just making sure that everybody up front knew how we wanted it blocked. And honestly, we've done a similar play where we've direct snapped and ran the ball. Man, we hadn't had an alley as clean as that when we ran the ball. So it was they did a good job. Rook and Big Miles, they did a good job, and then Shipley, and he put it up. We want to try to get a little bit further in the back of the end zone, but it was actually pretty good because the guy was holding on to Davis, and how Davis made the catch, is unbelievable. But it's just a cool moment for those guys.
You mentioned recruiting RJ as a running back, obviously, to South Carolina, not for his defense. I guess, what did you see from him that kind of made you want to take him as a running back and then that recruiting process?
Yeah, so he was a quarterback down in Charleston. Played option quarterback. So you knew that he had a feel for making plays with the ball, in his hands, and that was where we were looking for a running back. And then when I went down there and spent some time with him and talked to him and his mom and the coach, unbelievable character kid, very, very humble. So I just felt like I saw something there watching him practice and run around that made me believe that he could play running back, a lot like I felt Tramel Terry could have been a running back, and he ends up playing running back at Jacksonville State. But RJ, he decided he wanted to go play in the secondary, and respect that, and the decision came a little bit later in the process too, from a running back standpoint. I'm trying to think of which class that was. I can't remember which class it was. We might have been looking for a running back a little bit later, but very, 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 very good kid, and I enjoyed getting to know him, and hopefully I'll have a chance to see him and just tell him how proud I am of him.
I think it was 18.
Might have been 18. Yep, that's the year after Travis.
I think the year after Travis.
The year after Travis. All right, and then we signed Lindsay that year. Yeah, it would have been Lindsay. Yeah, because Lindsay, that process was, we went after Zamir and, told Lindsay he was the next guy up, and then Zamir went to Georgia, and then we were kind of just, checking all the boxes, and then that's when I went back down and, got involved with RJ. Mm-hmm.
Anything for Coach from Zoom?
Hey, Tony, this is James from Charleston. How hard has this season been on you, and how has it made you improve as a coach?
I think the first couple weeks, was very difficult, just because of the initial onslaught of the adversity. But once once I got through the first couple weeks and just reassessed myself, my perspective, it's actually been a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun seeing these guys grow and develop, and then also the challenge to myself to make sure that I have the right mindset every single day to help these young men from an adversity standpoint and a perseverance standpoint, and for me personally, it's just kind of put things back in perspective. That at the end of the day, the reason why we coach is to help young people. And help them grow and develop, and the winning is a byproduct. And I think one of the hardest things in life is managing success. I think when you're chasing success, you can keep your blinders on and stay focused. But once you've had success, you got to find ways to block out the noise, to put your blinders back on, so that you can stay focused on what really matters. So for me as a coach, it's just kind of it's reinvigorated and revived my passion for the essence of why I coach, which is the young people. Obviously, this is something that I have to do. This is a piece of it. There's a lot of responsibilities that I'm responsible for that are outside of the player, but it just really helped me to refocus on what's important, and that's helping young people grow through the game of football.
Hey Tony, this is Gavin Oliver with the Clemson Insider. Is there any update you can give us on Ngata, how he's doing, and his status for this week?
We're hopeful, but we won't know until we get out here today and see what the trainers say. So we're hopeful for him, hopeful for EJ, but then again, we won't know probably till later this week.
All right, thank you, Coach. Everybody will stand by. Tyler Davis will be joining